Hello everyone and welcome to another video in the phonosemantic compound character series. If you do not know what phonosemantic compound characters are, feel free to go and have a look at the first couple of videos in the series where I talk about these characters more in detail. And in this particular video, I'm going to talk about the Qi character phonetic series and the 6 characters that are in this series that I chose for this particular series. So going on to the title phonetic character, which is this big character over here in the series, it is pronounced Qi, and its current meaning today is it's, his, her, their, and that. You can find it in a lot of expressions and a lot of modern expressions, a very frequent character, I would say. Sometimes quite difficult to understand its function if you do not know that its meaning is it's, hers, their, and that. So this particular character here has quite an interesting history, I think, because originally the meaning of this character was basket, and this is probably not the very first character ever that was like the very first version of this character ever, but this is one of the previous versions of this character written in the Oracle Bone script. And here you can see clearly that the character resembles a basket. Now what happened after that, I think is a subject to debate, but I'll tell you what I think happened. So this character is a phonetic loan character, and I've talked about phonetic loans before in previous videos, but just to quickly explain what it means. It just means that the original meaning of this character was basket, and it was really a picture of a basket, and it was used in the meaning basket. So when anyone wanted to write, for instance, my basket in Chinese 2,500, 2,600, 700, 800 years ago, they would write this character and it would mean basket. But the pronunciation of this character at that time was the same as the pronunciation for it's, her, their, and that. And they said, well, since it's, his, her, their, that is very, very difficult to write as a picture, let's use the picture or the character that we have for basket, and let's just agree that we will start using this particular picture for the meaning it's, his, her, their, that as well, simply because it has the same pronunciation, same sound. So in the last video, I gave you the example of the English word not, like I do not want to do this kind of not. And since we have a very similar example actually, it's quite difficult to write or like to paint a picture that would represent the meaning not. But we do have a word which sounds exactly the same in English, which is to tie a knot, this type of a knot. And we can easily draw a picture of a knot, like a real actual knot. And let's just, for this, to make this thought experiment, agree that this knot, the picture of a knot, an actual knot, will also be used as a picture for the negative. So whenever we're going to have a situation where we need to write, I do not want to do this, so provided that we have characters for every other word in that sentence, the not word will be represented by a picture of an actual knot. So this is how phonetic loans work, and this is what happened with this character as well. So originally it meant basket, and then because they had these words that had like words, actually that's what we can say, because this was just one word in ancient Chinese, and it was just one sound, and it was pronounced probably exactly the same way as the word basket in ancient Chinese. So they chose this character over here, this particular character, to represent the word basket as well. Now the problem here is that now you had a situation where two completely different concepts. So the first one was basket. So this would be, the first one was basket. Let me just write a little number 1 here. And the second was all of this business over here. So now you had one character, this picture over here, representing the meaning basket and the meaning it's, his, her, their, and that. So it was confusing, right? Because now you had two completely separate meanings for one character, and it was confusing. So what I think happened, and this is my theory, when they moved on to the seal script, which is this character over here, when they moved on to the seal script, they created a phonosemantic compound character out of this character. Meaning that one part of the character is representing the sound and the other one is representing the meaning. Now, the top part of the character over here It's still the basket, as you can see, but it is there now only for the pronunciation, for the pronunciation of the character. And the bottom part of the character is it actually means this thing. It's his, her, their, and that. So this is the meaning. The meaning part of the character. So it's basically like, you can look at it as a specifier. They said, look, if we still preserve the basket character, and when we specify it by this semantic element, that which has the meaning of it's, his, her, their, and that, is going to tell you that the character is read as a chi, and it means it's, his, her, their, and that. And then when they moved on to the regular script, which is this character over here, the top and the bottom elements just kind of blended together. You can still see the legs. You can still see the long horizontal line of the bottom element in the character, but the top bottom line is has been merged into this long horizontal line, so the two elements kind of merged together. So this is what I think happened with this character. Originally, it was a picture of a basket, and it meant basket. It adopted additional meanings. It's, his, her, their, that. Now we had two sort of sets of meanings. One was basket, one was it's, his, her, their, and that. And then in the transition into the seal script, they decided to make it a typical sort of derivative phonosemantic compound character, which is they took the picture of a basket and specified it by this semantic element, making it clear that whenever you see this character, it's not going to be the basket anymore. It's going to be the it's, his, her, their, and that character. So usually when you look at explanations of this character, when etymological explanations of this character, when you see it in dictionaries, usually they say that this character, this whole thing, is a picture of a basket. But then it wouldn't explain very well this middle step over here, because it would mean, and it's getting a little bit messy now, sorry for that, it would mean that this character was has been directly transformed into this character, but it's not true. There was this intermediate step. It went into the seal script, and then sorry for the messiness, going into this script. So this is what I think happened with this character, and now we can basically go really quickly over the characters that are in this phonetic series. So the first character, and there are actually, I think, at least like 10 times more than you can see here, but these are the most frequent ones. So the first character in the series is pronounced chi. It means base or foundation. You can see at the top, I'm going to try to do this as clearly as possible. So this is the top of the character. You can clearly see that it's this here. It's just kind of formatted in a different way so that it so that you can fit two elements into one character. That is the phonetic element, chi, and this is chi. It's not a perfect match, but even today, very close, and probably 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 years ago, the pronunciation was much, much closer. And it means base or foundation, and the semantic element, the thing that is specifying the meaning, is the bottom over here, this part, which is tu, and it is earth. The second character in the series, pronounced chi or qi in Taiwan, it means period or cycle, phase or stage. For instance, in the word xingqi, pronounced in mainland, and xingqi in Taiwan, which is week, as a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, this kind of a week. And the semantic element over here, the element giving meaning to the character, is the element on the right side, which means it's pronounced yue, and it is a moon. Like, you can write it as a standalone character, and it would mean moon. So you put the moon together with qi, and you have the word qi or qi, which means period, cycle. Based on the left side, you know how to pronounce it, and based on the right side, you know what it means. Kind of. It points to the meaning, of course, not perfectly, but well enough. The next character I think is very, very interesting structurally, and I will tell you in a bit why. It is pronounced qi, and it means flag or banner. And the phonetic element qi is right over here. And some people think, and it's very natural, that the character is separated like so, but that's not true. The character is separated like so, and basically this part over here is a standalone character which is written like this. So some of you might know, and this is actually maybe a coincidence or a very, very clever way of doing this, but this right part of the character over here, let me write it big, this here, this is pronounced 人, and it means person. And this part of the character over here is a mirror image of a simplified or a shortened version of the same character, which is written as a shortened version like this. However, here it is mirrored and sort of transposed. Is this the right word? Basically, it's flat. It's not written horizontally, like vertically like this, but horizontally, and it's flipped. It's a mirror image. So very, very interesting. And this character, the semantic element of the whole character, it's a flag. It's pronounced yin, and the meaning of this character is flag. So you have this character, you sort of squeeze a little qi phonetic element into the character, so that you know how to pronounce it, qi, and you know that the character means flag banner because because you have the semantic element flag or banner in there. Another character in the series is pronounced qi again, and it means chess or games similar to chess. You can say 下棋, which means to play chess. And this is a very simple, very regular character, separated like so. The left part of the character is pronounced mu, and it is the tree radical or wood radical. So usually chess in ancient China made of wood and so on. Very clear, a very logical association. Now, the next two characters are very, very interesting, I think, because of several things. Well, the first thing is that obviously we can see a change in pronunciation here. So they're pronounced s and s, both of them in the first tone. And so you have ji, ji, qi, qi. This is qi. Doesn't really seem to fit, but s, a couple of 100 years ago already, so you don't even have to go very far behind into back into the past. S and qi was pronounced very, very similarly. If you look at Cantonese today, many of these, and I'm not sure what these sounds are called. They have a special name. These like sonar retroflex sounds, I would say, but they have a special name. So definitely not giving justice to how this is supposed to be called. They were pronounced actually e. So probably in Cantonese, and please correct me if I'm wrong, this should be pronounced si. 表西, yeah, something like that. If you have the si in Cantonese is so qi, si. Already in Cantonese, like today, you can see that there's a similarity. And if you go a little bit back and you look at rhyme dictionaries, you will see that the pronunciation of the phonetic element and this character, at least when it comes to the final vowel, so this I, was very, very close. So clearly, we have the phonetic element here, and we have the phonetic, well, let me just get to that. So the phonetic element here, and this character is also a phonetic loan. This character originally used to mean to tear, to rip. So, sorry, just let me make it really, really clear here. This character over here originally used to mean to tear and to rip. And the semantic element in it is this thing here, which is an axe. I think, not very sure, it's pronounced jin. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is an axe. And so to tear, to rip, to chop, maybe, semantic element, the axe, or the axe, and phonetic element qi. And it's today, the modern character is a phonetic loan. It means this, then, thus, or when it comes to transcriptions of foreign language words, like for instance Slovakia, or I don't know, usually names, like, let me think of a name now, like Stephen, for instance. So you have Si Ti Wen. So you would use this character in foreign language names. For instance, Slovakia is Suru Fa Ke. So the first syllable in Slovakia, when it's written in Chinese, it's this one, Si. So and this character wise, another thing why it's interesting is that it is a phonetic loan. So originally it used to mean to tear, to rip, and then it acquired the meanings this, then, thus, similarly as the character basket acquired the meanings it's, his, her, there, and that, just because it sounded like the way this character used to be pronounced when it meant to tear, to rip, was very close or the same as the words this, then, thus used to be pronounced in ancient Chinese. And so basically it's a phonetic clone. Now, why these two characters are interesting is then when we move on, we have another character in this series. As you can see, this whole character is over here. So now, just to make it a bit clearer, this character becomes the phonetic element in this character. But the reason why this happened is exactly because this character over here suddenly had two meanings. The first meaning was all of this business over here. And the original meaning, or let me kind of, yeah, we have it already here. And the original meaning was, so it's going to be a little bit confusing, but this is the first meaning and this is the second group of meanings. So this is the second group of meanings and this is the first group of meanings. And so suddenly this character had two meanings, and in order to make it clear, or to sort of get rid of this this confusion, they created a completely new character, which is this one, which would represent the meaning to tear and to rip. And they added the shou radical, which is a hand, as a specifier or the semantic element to show that this whole new character now will mean to tear and to rip. So just to make it, to summarize what was said here, the character th, this one over here, originally meant to tear, to rip. It was made of two elements, the phonetic element qi, this one, which was telling you how to read it, and the semantic element ax, which was telling you that it meant to rip and to tear. Then the character acquired these meanings over here and was still pronounced s, but now we had a problem because we had two different meanings associated with the same character. So shou was added to this character, and a new character was created, which meant only to tear and to rip. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. I think very interesting. This is a very, very frequent phenomenon with Chinese characters. So yeah, I think it's worth exploring it a little bit. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I hope you liked the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.